This is our first video for our second term for our first semester. So we're starting off with our narrative process. We've already been introduced into narrative through the Hemingway 6-word stories, and we've been doing those all first term. Now you're going to get a chance to actually write your own lengthy narrative. You're doing two at the same time, so you're doing one at home. This is a separate theme, separate process, somewhat similar as far as how it's set up, but not the same as far as what we're looking for. We're looking for more dialogue in the in-class narrative. Same rubric for both as far as how they're going to be graded. One will be due this Friday as far as our rough draft, and you know that we'll be doing typing them up following Monday. And then for the other, we'll be doing those, finishing them up by Tuesday of the following week, the in-class portion. So our VFW Patriots pen, that will be due on Friday of this week, and then the the rescripted portion where Dally is in that scene where you're going to do it from his perspective, that will be due next week. For this week, this is our first opportunity to do extra credit. Very similar to last term, you're going to take these words and define them on one side of your paper. Make sure you're only using one definition. I know that some of them might have 2 to 3. Just pick the very first one. Tell me where you got them from, whether it's Google.com or Google Dictionary.com, anything like that. Then flip it over, and this time instead of a half page, utilizing the words within your story, you're to write an entire page utilizing all the words that you have for vocabulary within your story. You can write it on any topic you want. Again, this will still be just like last term and apply at the very end of the term. So I'm not, even when our progress report's coming out, it doesn't get applied then. It waits to the very end in case you have any even lower grades as far as your daily grades. So it'll boost that for daily grades only. Third term, that's when I'll actually be doing some stuff for test grades, and that'll be the only term, and that's with Shakespeare. So this term, once again, is daily grades, but just for this term only. As far as our remainder, fourth term is still negotiable. So if you have any questions, feel free to ask as far as what our this week's summary is. We'll be going over. There'll be a lot of notes, and I'll put them online also at some point. But you'll need to be taking those in class this week, and try not to miss this week to get all of those in so that you can be writing, because we have a lot of writing to do to be finished by the end of this week. And I know a lot of you should be studying as well, especially if you looked at your previous grades and were not satisfied with that, which most of you should not be. Also, tutorial every Thursday, again, 3:20 to 4:15. Those of you that have identified a skill that you feel like you're lacking, and when I've already talked to a lot of you about whether it's figurative language that you feel like you're lacking on, come see me. And if it's the drama propelling the action that we've already gone over, again, we're going to do more of that this week. But if you feel like there's a very particular item, say like idioms or hyperboles that you're just not getting, then we need to address that now. All right. If you have any further questions or need any assistance, feel free to ask me, and let's get this week started.